As you can imagine, the reaction to the budget speech by Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has been coming in thick and fast. This morning, though, the minister is having a budget breakfast with captains of industry, and in fact, our business editor, Xolani Mbanjwa, is there for us. Xolani, some industry leaders in Cape Town at the CTICC, I understand, and that's, of course, to take stock of this budget. How is it being received?
Good morning, Ayand. The budget speech 2022 has been well received right across the board. If you listen closely to what has been said by interested groups, you will find that there is something for someone in this particular budget. We are here at the Cape Town International Convention Center, where Brimstone is hosting the Finance Minister along with his team and other industry leaders to actually unpack the most important parts of the budget. But joining me now to actually take us through what they feel about this year's budget is Dr. Nombeko Mbava, who is the chairperson of the Financial and Fiscal Commission. Thank you very much, Dr. Mbava, for joining us this morning. Let's talk about your overall impressions of the budget. There were a lot of things that were said there, including growth projections for South Africa's GDP in the next year. What are your impressions for this year's budget?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. So if we look at budget 2021, the medium-term budget policy statement, as well as the latest SONA, the promises which were made there is that government wants to achieve two things. One is a social economic recovery, as well as economic recovery, in conjunction with balancing the fiscal environment, the fiscal finances. So if we look at the budget right now and the projections which have been made, quite clearly government is making progress. We see that we're going to have a commodity surplus in the next year, and also the debt is going to be reduced in the next 2 years or so. So we can see that those aims, there is headways towards achieving them. So there are early green shoots that we see. So the question is, how sustainable is this balance? Balancing the social and economic recovery, as well as maintaining a tight belt on our finances.
You also have something to say about the 350 Rand social relief grant that has been extended by another year. It's a temporary measure, but we need commitments that are long-term. What are your views about this extension of the 350 Rand grant to March 2023?
I think the extension is quite good news for now, but obviously it's temporary. So what we need to do is to find a more sustainable solution. And any solution that governments put on the table, it must either be accommodated in two ways. Either we expand the tax revenue or find other ways within the tax framework to fund that SRD grant, or we actually reprioritize our spending in the economy. There's no other way. So we can reprioritize, or we find another way within our tax framework to fund it.
Let's talk about service delivery. We saw that revenue overrun being spread across the board. Many departments, including health, including police, getting a bit of that revenue that we got from the commodities cycle for this past year. Let's talk about the municipal services, though, where there is it's important for the government to make sure, as the coal face of service delivery, government makes sure that services are delivered. You are concerned about the capacity of government at local government level to actually execute their mandate.
So we see that in local government there is a lot of operational inefficiencies in terms of how public funds are utilized. We see a lot of wastage. So if you quantify wasteful and fruitless expenditure, it amounts to more than 2 billion. So those amounts of money can be used fruitfully can be used to actually even fund the SRD grant. So we need to ensure that there is state capacity to deliver at local level, because that is where the basic services like your water, sanitation, housing are provided. So we need to ensure that municipalities are capacitated at human resource level as well as managing their finances properly.
Dr. Nombeko Mbava, the chairperson of the Financial and Fiscal Commission, they're telling us that it's important that while we did as a country get more money from revenue collection, it is quite important to make sure that that money is well spent, particularly at municipal level. Back to you, Ayanda.
Xolani Mbanjwa, thanks very much indeed. Xolani is our business editor. He's live to us there from the CTICC, that's the Cape Town International Conference Center.